Oh, if I wasn't going to get copyrighted, I would be playing some music right now, but I'm just dancing to something imaginary in my head. So come on, Xabi Alonso, yes! The game's just finished. I've got quite a bit of adrenaline right now, but what a great victory. The Alonso reign is up and running. So much to talk about in this game. We can talk about Militao coming back from 2 ACLs to look like one of the best centre-backs in the world right now. Vini throwing a tantrum in that second half. Mbappe just being on fire right now. Huijsen and Carreras making their Classico debuts, and both of them I thought looked pretty good. They must have been nervous. They're both young, but I thought they stood up pretty well. I mean, great victory. Yeah, let's get into it. I'm so excited with that win. Going back to the starting lineup then, and I shall put it on your screen. There's a mosquito in here. Yeah, I'll put it on your screen here now. Very interesting. I love the fact that Guler and Bellingham are getting both starting places in this team because they both deserve to play. But I wasn't quite sure going into this season how Alonso would fit them both in because I think Bellingham's best role is playing as close to the box as he can. And yeah, I always thought we might have to choose between one of Arda or Bellingham, but he was able to get both in. We also managed to get Camavinga playing on the kind of right side of the midfield to help Valverde out against Balde and Rashford on that side, which was really interesting. Yeah, Militao and Huijsen, I guess they could be our starting centre-backs now. To me, this has been a bit of a question mark this season. Who are our two starting centre-backs? Obviously, Rudiger is still injured at the moment, but it looks like it could be these two. And I thought Militao, I mean, I guess you have to give man of the match to Mbappe for scoring the goals, but I thought he was unbelievable. But yeah, the first half started then. Now, we started this game on fire. We really attacked them from the get-go. Barcelona just couldn't handle our pressing. We were winning the challenges. I mean, it looks like Mbappe's learned a little bit as well from the Classico we had last season, where we also started pretty well. I think it was in his first ever Classico. And it was the game where we lost at home, but he scored a beautiful chip goal, which was offside, and and it was probably one of his worst performances for Real Madrid because he was constantly caught offside again and again. And we started off the game, and he scored an absolute worldie of a goal, again offside, and there was a little bit of me thinking, "Oh, come on, Kylian, you're a good player. You're a pretty good player. You can learn to read the line a little bit." And not too long later, beautiful pass from Bellingham, and he did it, and he finally did it. I think he's definitely adapting and learning now how to play as a striker because obviously not being offside is a very important part of that. And great start from Real Madrid. I thought Huijsen had a little bit of a dodgy start to the game. I didn't think he looked great for the first 5 or 10 minutes. He just came back from injury and he's young and it's his first Classico, so maybe there was some nerves, but he was losing the ball in some dangerous areas. You know, his passing was a little bit off. I thought he grew into the game though, which is a great sign as the game went on. I do want to touch on Carreras though, because in the modern game, it's so important for defenders, especially in the first, 10, 20 minutes of the game where the other team are pressing and they've got a lot of energy to be able to kind of dictate the tempo, pass out of the, beat the press with their passing or with their dribbling. And I thought Carreras just looked composed. Yamal got no touches, no chance. He was, overall, I'd probably give him a 7.5 out of 10 maybe because he did lose the ball quite a few times. Some of his passing didn't come off and, he's still learning, but I just think there's so much potential in Carreras and he looks so confident. So I just wanted to shout him out in this game. Now, after Kylian's great goal that was disallowed for being offside, we get to the first real interesting talking point of the game, and that's Vinicius' penalty. And I've got to say, I did think it was a penalty. I did think so. It's true that when the referee goes to VAR, he sees an angle, and I think it's the only angle he gets to see, where it does look like, I want to say it's Balde, who was the player who fouled Vinicius. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's difficult to remember all the details straight after. But whoever the Barcelona player was, it does look like he's going to tackle the ball and Vinicius has just kind of put his foot there and he's played for the contact. But from another angle, and how I saw it live, Vinicius is going to shoot the ball. His foot's in motion and the Barcelona player just puts his foot right there and just completely makes contact with Vinicius without touching the ball first. So I don't see how it was not a penalty. We might as well talk about it now. The penalty in the second half, the handball on, I want to say Pedri, but yeah, honestly, I don't remember the names too much. That was not a penalty in a million years. That's never a penalty. I feel like the referees or VAR, they've never played football in their life. I mean, he's sliding. He's when you slide, your arms are not going to be behind like that. So you're going to ban sliding then. We're not allowed to slide, or you have to slide like that. That's just ridiculous. His arm's not up like that. And the ball's going out of play anyway. It's ricocheted off Bellingham, and it's hit him first. It's so ludicrous, that penalty. I mean, sometimes the ball will hit. In the second half, it hit Tchouaméni's arm a little bit. He went to block it. I think it hit kind of it probably hit a bit of his shoulder and a bit of his arm. It's never a penalty. If anyone's played football, I mean, it'd be interesting to see what the fans' opinions are who aren't Barca and Madrid fans. But I reckon 8 out of 10 people, if you ask them, is that a penalty? They're saying no. I just cannot believe anyone really, truly believes that was a penalty. But to be honest, I'm not too disappointed by not getting the penalty, because it actually gave Real Madrid an opportunity to prove their mentality and to prove that, okay, we've scored, it's been disallowed, we should have had a penalty, we didn't get a penalty. You know, your heads could drop a little bit, but they didn't. And what a great first goal. That pass from Bellingham, I mean, that is world class. That really is. And I've got to say, I didn't think Barcelona were going to get much out of that first half unless it was their pressing and us making a mistake. And that, you know, I'm not going to blame Guler because he's young and, you know, he'll learn from that. It was a stupid mistake. I thought Guler had a very good game, I've got to say. I think he's just one of our best players at the moment. It sucks, but, you know, I've seen Modric give the ball away in these kind of areas. So the great thing is that it didn't seem to affect the team, and that's fantastic. And, yeah, that goal right at the end of the second half from Bellingham, I think was completely justified. I thought that was one of our best first halves under Xabi Alonso, I've got to say. Now, everything was not so rosy in this game, and now we're going to go to the second half. And this is when some of the maybe inexperience of Xabi Alonso showed, at least in my opinion, because I thought we came out in that second half and we really just seemed to lose all momentum. We couldn't keep hold of the ball, and we seemed to sit back very early into that second half to try and defend this lead. And I thought that was a mistake, but we needed that third goal, because for me, as the second half went on, we always had a threat in that game, because Barcelona are very open with the way they play and with the speed that we've got. I thought we always had a chance to score. I never felt like we couldn't score, but we couldn't keep the ball, and we didn't dominate that second half. And I thought Alonso needed to try and change whether it. Well, I had no problem with him taking Vinicius off for Rodrigo, for example. I think Rodrigo deserves his opportunity, but I thought Ceballos could have come on earlier or changed the formation. He needed to do something to try and regain control, because I thought Barcelona were just building, and had Barcelona got that second goal, then, you know, the momentum would have been with them. And I just, I thought that was a little bit of inexperience there from Alonso to read the game in that second half. However, I do want to give a shout out to the defensive organisation from Real Madrid. It is true that Barcelona are without Rafinha and Lewandowski. Maybe they would have made it a lot more difficult for us, but I thought Tchouaméni was fantastic at reading the game. He made some great tackles in that second half. Militao, I mean, I mentioned him earlier, but to come back from, it's like a new signing. It's like a new signing having Militao. He was so good in that game. I thought Carreras was fantastic at shutting Yamal down. I mean, Yamal didn't really do much all game, did he? I thought we showed great energy. Bellingham pressed. Mbappe was pressing pretty well. I mean, yeah, just a great all-round effort in that second half, I can say. Even if tactically, I think we were missing something. And the substitutions, by the way, I didn't think the substitutions really. Brahim didn't really get into the game very much. He didn't really offer too much. Who else came on? Rodrigo. Yeah, he tried, but he really should have scored, or at least, you know, he was fresh. He was against a tiring back line, and he just didn't really look like the free kick he took was a pretty confident free kick, but it seemed like he lacked a bit of confidence to me to really hit his shots with conviction, you know. Now let's go on to Vinicius then and the substitution. And I mean, we've all seen this coming, right? I mean, there seems to be something going on with Vinicius, with his attitude, with how he sees himself, that's just boiling over, and it's just gonna. I don't know how much longer it's going to last. I mean, to me, he needs to be dropped for next game, and he needs to apologise to Xabi Alonso. It's very true, and I'm very happy that he came back out again. You know, he's a very emotional guy, and sometimes emotions get the better of you. And the fact that he came back out again to support the team is great. So I applaud him for that. I still think, though, he owes Xabi Alonso an apology for sure, and I think those actions can't just be let to go without any repercussions. And at the end of the game as well, it looks like he's causing some sort of argument and fight with the Barcelona team. I've got to say, I was a little bit disappointed with seeing the likes of Carvajal and Courtois, experienced players, having a go at Yamal. You know, he's 18 because he said some words. I mean, people are so sensitive these days. It's ridiculous. We won the game. That's enough to shut Yamal up. You don't need to be going and getting in his face. Even though, you know, I'm not a Yamal fan, but I just thought it's very petty. You know, these arguments, and to me it shows a lack of kind of character. And you know, I don't think you would have seen Luka Modric or Toni Kroos or Benzema doing these kind of things. You know, but yeah, there we go. How cool was Bellingham's celebration, by the way, for his goal? It reminded me a bit of like an Eric Cantona, just kind of, yeah, I scored, so what? You know, I mean, I know it was a very easy goal, but I like Bellingham's swagger sometimes. And talking about Bellingham, it feels like he's turned the corner now. It feels like we're getting the real Bellingham back. You know, he scored last week. He got an assist and a goal. I think this was his first time that he got an assist and a goal in one game for about a year. I think Valencia was the last time he done that, when he got the a stoppage time winner against Valencia. So it looks like we're getting Jude back. Mbappe, I mean, he could be getting another 40, 50 goal, if he avoids injuries, another 40, 50 goal season again. I mean, he's on fire right now. Yeah, I mean, I'll wrap it up here. There are more things I could talk about, but I think I've rambled on long enough. Great for Xabi Alonso to get this victory, because it's his first real kind of pressure situation. We failed against Atletico earlier in the season, and obviously we were a bit embarrassed by PSG back in the Club World Cup, even though to me that was a pre-season. So he needed that big win. We beat Juventus, we beat Barcelona. If we can go and do a number on Liverpool, whilst all those three teams are not really at their best, this isn't a great Barcelona team, so I don't think we should be getting carried away. It was a 2-1 win. That was pretty close. You know, I wouldn't say we dominated in any way, but psychologically, this is huge for the team, and it also just gives Alonso a little bit more respect, I think, in terms of, like, with the media, with the players, to know that, you know, he is our guy, because I see a lot of improvements in Xabi Alonso. Compared to how we looked under Carlo Ancelotti last season. So I think our energy and our pressing is just great, and there's a freshness to this team that I really like. So yeah, great victory, top of the table, 5 points clear. Let's roll on to next week's game. Thanks for watching, everyone. Hala Madrid.